Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? And I
Right.
remember we would just sit here. I would look at the sales numbers I would pull in, and I would rack up, dude, $15 million in sales for these guys
Mhm.
in a year. And they would give nothing to our
Wow.
community, nothing to
Yeah.
where we come from. They would do the cancer run and shit like that, but like everybody does it. That's not
Right,
corporate
right.
responsibility to me. So I would love for you to go into that because I think this matters in the conversation that we're having right now. What is
So
corporate responsibility and why is it actually important?
it's and you're right in saying that because my first couple of jobs, there was no such thing as corporate social responsibility, right? It's fairly a new term, but I think it comes from guys like you and I making it to those corporations and saying, "Hey, we made X amount of money. What are we doing?" Or the company I was with allowed you to give a grant to charities of your choice. And I was just saying, "Hey, like $4,000, we're a $1 billion company. Is there anything else we can do?" Right? So I drag those companies out to events, to basketball events, and have them maybe change the rims in certain neighborhoods. I had a company, I don't know if I could say the name, but I had a company repave uh, parks in the neighborhood that I grew up in. And it's a initially corporations weren't doing it, right? And they weren't as involved. But now, I'll say over the last 10 years, we see corporate social responsibility really taking charge. And I think it had to come from a place or guys like you and I to challenge these corporations to start to give back and do things in the community in which their customers probably help them grow and get to the level that they're at.
Yeah. Why is that important though? Because I think that a lot of people, I would say probably the vast majority of people listening to the show are not
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, as is
Right.
really most of the country. And
Mhm.
I think people feel like they're too small to make that difference, that they will walk into boardrooms or they'll walk into meetings and they'll be dismissed. But I've come to find that's not necessarily the case. But
Yeah.
why do you think it's important for us to be socially responsible in this capacity?
Because there are changes that are needed in communities that they may not know about, right? So it's important for individuals like you and I, and companies do have allotment for charity and things like that in a corporate social responsibility sector, right? It's important because the monies that they give, and it can also be time, right? So it's at any level. Once you become an entrepreneur, you can control your time, your money, and everything else of the business that you're in. But whatever we're finding that giving back, going back to the communities in which you came from, oftentimes we're finding that people can relate in certain areas. One of the things that I'm seeing now is mental health. Corporations are really starting to put a strong focus on mental health. There's mental health drives. I think Kevin Love was probably one of the first NBA players to come out and say he had some issues with mental health. I think it raised awareness. And with guys like you and I speaking up, let's just say Kevin Love, for example, raising that awareness, it's important because it could help so many other people. Right. So whatever it is, wherever the corporations decide that they want to pitch in and help out, there's such a need for it in the mental health space. I mean, I think we can change neighborhoods and try to decrease the level of violence that happens in certain neighborhoods. There's so many things that could change people's lives, and it's just a matter of touching them and saying, "Hey, you don't have to go that route. There's stop the violence campaigns. There's so many different things that corporations can do and partake in that can really change kids' lives." A lot of the mental focus and the mindset that I gather and that I draw from was when I was a kid, right? It started just at the very early age. And then again, the things we talked about it earlier, the things that you see, right? And you see someone that says, "Hey, I work at IBM, American Express, or these large internet companies." And you start to understand that you can do it too. Again, we talk about the possibility. So it's important to be able to touch people. It's important to be able to share your story, share those success stories with people that are less fortunate and really don't have that road navigated for them to show them that, hey, it's possible that you guys can get here as well.